Hello guys. By average. Can you guys hear me? So these numbers are very grammatical and they are very crucial. So when you attempt them, you should be very careful. So such a question, it's very tricky. The first word is Kano, the second one is colleague, then the third one is colander, and the fourth one is colleague. So if you find such a question, you see that if you are not very careful, you'll fail to find out the incorrectly spelled word, the word which is not correctly spelled. Look at the first one, which is Kano, which is Kano. The next one is colleague. If you look at the word colleague, it's not easy to observe that it is incorrectly spelled. And then if you look at the word colander and colleague, some of these words like you've never heard of them because it's very rare to find someone who uses these words. So anyone would have chosen option 3 or option 4. So of, of which option 3 and 4 they are all correct words. The only which is the incorrect spelled word is the word colleague, of which it's not easy to get it that is the incorrect spelled word. Can anyone tell me which letter is missing the word colleague? Which letter is missing the word colleague? Which letter is missing the word colleague? If you observe very clearly, it's letter A. Yes, it's letter which is missing the word colleague. So we should always take like be very keen when answering these questions. These questions are going to be very strict and technical. They are going to be very strict. So you should always observe questions before answering them. And then if you look at I chose these questions which can highlight us, any highlighters on things we are supposed to, the tricks behind these questions. So look at this question. The blanks should be filled with the appropriate word from the four options which will be given, which are given below. And we have the religious leader should not delve in politics. So religious leaders should not dash in politics. If you look at the word one, it's in, then we have with, we have at, and then we have into. So they want us to choose the best one. Actually, not the best one, but the correct one, because they are not all correct. There is only one correct option. There is only one correct option. And which is that? The correct option here is into. Religious leaders should not delve into politics. Why? Because they are dealing into politics. It's not appropriate for religious leaders to deal into. That's the best option. It's the correct English. The word is into. So the answer is option 4, into politics. So if you go to question, the next question, they are telling us, they are telling us to choose the exact meaning from the options for the idioms or phrases underlined in sentences. So, and the sentence is not worth it. They want us to get an idiom or a word, a sentence of the four options given, which can mean, which has the same meaning as the one which is underlined in the sentence. As it is underlined in the sentence. So we have one very strange. First of all, first read the sentence and understand its meaning. What does it mean? So he's not worth his salt. He's not worth his salt if he fails at this juncture. So he's not worth it. The underlying one is not worth his salt. What does it mean? If you try to interpret this underlying sentence, which is not worth his salt, we can get a meaning. For example, it means that the person they are talking about is doing something which is out of his expectation, like is not worth that thing, that something is doing, the work is doing, is the meaning of the underlined word. So after getting the meaning of the underlined word, you go to your options. You go to your options You go to your options and choose. You read through them. The first one is very strange. So can a very strange be applicable or be, if you want to change the meaning of the sentence, if you want to change that in the sentence but keep the same, if you use very strange, like, does it give meaning like the it's very strange if he fails at this? Of course, it can't give us the same meaning. It's not. So we eliminate that one. We eliminate that. Then we go to two. Uh, part two, which is a very proud, very proud of himself. So if someone is very proud of himself, he's very proud of himself. If he fails, it still doesn't give us the meaning. So we eliminate that one. So you go to three, quite depressed. It doesn't give out also the meaning we are looking for. So what we do, we remain with the one which is quite worthless. Is quite because it gives us the exact meaning we want, exact meaning in the sentence. So with grammatical questions, you must be very keen. First of all, first get the meaning of the sentence and meaning of the question. Interpret the question before answering the question. Before doing anything, first interpret the question. If you look at another one, they are telling us out of the given alternative, choose the one with which can be substituted for a given word or sentence. So they give you around five words and I said that they give you a sentence and they want you to choose one word which has the same meaning with all the sentence, which can give out the meaning of the sentence given. Now we have one who corrects post stamps. So what's the name of the a person who corrects postage stamps? Can anyone tell me the person who corrects postage stamps? The person who corrects postage stamps. So we can answer this one by elimination. You eliminate. First of all, you get to know the first word. You first look at the meaning of the first word. So Philatelist. Who is a philatelist? So we use elimination to solve these questions. So we have philatelist part A, the one who is a philatelist. Who is a philatelist? Who is a philatelist? Guys, who is a philatelist? Who is a philatelist? What's the meaning of the word philatelist? Stamp corrector and vendor. Okay, let me give you the answer. You try to look out the meaning of these words that you're given period. The meaning of stamp corrector, because today they have asked you to is a person who correct postage stamps, and then someone tomorrow they'll tell you another person who will be a lexicographer. Then we have a vendor. So today, uh, if you go to option one, is a philatelist is someone who loves stamps. Someone who loves stamps. So a philatelist is literally a person who loves stamps. So if you love something, you start correcting it. So a person who corrects stamps is a philatelist. The answer is option one. So someone would have easily chosen the word stamp corrector because he's seeing the word stamp in it. But a stamp corrector is different from someone. So philatelist is someone who loves stamps. Someone would have easily chosen the word philatelist. Then we have a vendor. Who is a vendor? Who is a vendor? A vendor, we can say that is a person. It can be a company doing something, yeah, like a sale. It has a commodity to sell. That's the vendor. Then lexicographer, a lexicographer, a lexicographer is someone who loves a person who compiles dictionaries. He makes research in. Like he makes research in dictionaries. He compiles dictionaries. So the remaining one is the stamp corrector. A stamp corrector is someone who corrects postage stamps. So our answer is option 2, which is a stamp corrector. So the answer was between a philatelist and a stamp corrector. That's where the confusion comes in. So if you go by elimination method, if you go by elimination, you can see that vendor is someone who sells a company, someone selling his commodity to a company. That means that there is actually the word is not actually related to the question they've given us. So option 3 is eliminated. A lexicographer, someone who loves dictionaries, compiling dictionaries. Someone who reads dictionaries a lot is a lexicographer. It's also not related to our question. So we eliminate 3 and 4. Option 3 and 4 are eliminated. So we have the remaining ones will be option 1 and option 2. A philatelist is someone who loves stamps. Then stamp corrector is someone who corrects a postage stamp, remaining that our option 2 is the answer. So our answer was option 2, that's stamp corrector. If you go to if you go to question 37, 35, and 37, they are asking us uh, they want us to find out apart from the sentence, a part of the sentence has errors and the other part have none. Find out which part has find out which part of the sentence has an error and the appropriate letter. So we have to find out the sentence which has an error and the appropriate letter. Answer is option 1. So this is the most interesting part I like, math, and it's the part which most of people hate in this paper, in this section. Oh, many people are fearing. So they are telling us when a number is divided by 5 leaves a remainder of 3. When the square of the same number is divided by 5, there is, they want us to find the number first. After finding the number, we divide its square, and then we divide its square by 5 and get the remainder. So they want us to get the remainder. So this is the solution. How do you solve number 1? First, to solve such questions, we can use try and error. Try and error. For example, you try it with any number. So let's take 13 as a number. If you divide 13 by 5, the remainder is 3. And if you square 13, the square of 13 is 169. And if you divide 169 by 5, the remainder is 4. And these are the options they gave us. So if you look at the options they gave us, we have 1, 3, 4, and 9. So you can get these numbers by try and error, doing try and error, trying out numbers. For this time, the exact number was 13. So you get 13, you divide it by, so 13, if you divide 13 by 5, the remainder is 3. So you get that number which is, when you divide it by 5, the remainder is 3, which is 13. After getting 13, you square 13, which you get after squaring 13, the square of 13 is 169. After getting 169, you divide it by 5, you'll get the remainder, which is 4. So our answer was option 3, with the answer is 4. So if you look for the next number, they're saying that 5 bells begin to toll together, and then at an interval of 3, 5, 7, and 8, and 10 seconds. They will again toll together after how many minutes? So they want us to find if two bells, if these bells, there are 4 bells are rung together at once, at what period of time will they be rung together again? So the logic behind such numbers is always to find the LCM. LCM is the lowest common multiple over any number. So what you do, you get the LCM of 3, LCM of 5, 7, and 8. So you find the lowest common multiple, the common multiple which is among these four numbers, which is between 3, 5, 7, and 8. After getting it, you add the 10 seconds given it to you, and then you get the answer. So if you get the LCM of 3, 5, 7, and 8, the LCM is 840. So but this answer, the LCM you get will be in seconds. After getting the 8440, that answer, any answer you'll get will be in seconds. So you change that number to minutes. So what you do, you divide 840 seconds by 60, because you remember 1 minute is equivalent to 60 seconds. So we are turning 840 into minutes. So we divide 840 by 60, and we will get 14 minutes. If you divide 840 by 60, you get 14, meaning that our answer is option 2, which is 14 minutes. But it's not about getting the answer right now, it's getting of getting these answers. How do we get these answers? If you divide 840 seconds, you get 14. So the LCM works here. Next time, today I've told you base. Next time they'll tell you they'll tell you that 5 giving a single run. Let them work together again. Anything. So you always need to say numbers. You can go through my solutions. You see them. The next time they are telling us a vessel full of water weighs 16.5 kgs. When the vessel is a quarter full, it weighs 5.25 kg. What's the weight of the empty vessel? So they have given us options, which is 0.5, 1 kg, 1.5. So I'm going to give you techniques here. First of all, you can use it. You form two equations. First of all, you get the weight. We let the total weight, the weight of the vessel of empty vessel to be x. and the weight when it's filled with water to be y. So when the vessel is full, it's weighing 16.5, meaning that if you add x plus y, we shall get 16.5 kgs. That's when it is empty and when it is filled with water. So when a quarter of water is there, then we shall get x plus y out of 4, because y is the total weight of the vessel when it's filled with water. So we get x plus a quarter y, equate it to 5.25. So when you reach here, so we multiply throughout by 4, which will give us, we are reducing the equation, which will be 4x plus y equaling to 21. 4 times x, we multiply throughout by 4, which is 4 times x, getting 4x plus y, which 4 will cancel out with 4 and remain with y. Then 5.25 times 4, which we shall get 21. So from equation 1, we shall get 4x plus 16.5 minus and shall equate it to 21. So 16.5 minus, remember x stands for the vessel when it's empty. So we are looking for the value of x by, we've substituted. We've the equations, and we are solving this equation by using substitution method. So 4x plus 16.5 minus x equating to 21. So we shall, if we reduce throughout, we shall have 3x plus equaling to 21 minus 16.5 after removing 4 4x minus x remain with 3x. We take 16 to the other side, it crosses the equal sign, it becomes negative. So we shall have 20 minus 16.5. We shall remain with that 3x equaling to 4.5x, of which we shall end up getting the value of x as 1.5, meaning that the weight of the empty vessel is 1.5 kg, and that was option 3. Hope everyone has got this. I'm taking through the steps. We let the weight of the empty vessel to be x, and the weight of the when it's filled with water to be na liter. You can use na liter. So we have formed two equations. That's one, x plus y. That is the when the vessel is empty and when it is filled with water. They gave us already the total weight, which is 16.5. So when it's a quarter, when it's a quarter way full, the total weight is 5.25. So we get x plus a quarter of y, because y is the weight of the vessel when it's filled with water. So we equate it to the total weight, which is 5.5. We have two equations. We solve them by substitution. So we substitute the first equation into x into the second equation, and there we shall get our answer as 1.5. So there is this question coming us here to solve it. Root of 32 plus root of 48 divided by root of 8 plus root of 12. They want us to get the answer. What's the trick behind when you are solving such question? When you are solving such questions, we use what we call rationalization. Rationalization. So you rationalize. So according to this question, you solve these sides by rationalizing. So you can expand 32. So 32 can be got from 16. So 16 times 32 under the same root. And then you also you work out after rationalizing on 48. That is 12 times 4 out of 8, which is the root of 8, root of 4 times 2. So you expand these ones according to their multiples. So 3 times 4, which is 12, we get 12, they're under the same root. So we pull out those ones which have the exact root, which have their root. For the first part, we had 16 times 2, we get 32, it's under root. So what's the root of 16? The root of 16 is 4. So we shall have 4 root 2, 4 root 2 plus we had 12 times 48 times 4, 12 times 8, then reduce 4 root 2 plus 12 root 3 out of 2 to root 2. You go on reducing like that by rationalizing and getting those numbers which have the exact roots, and you'll come up with our answer, which is 2. So the answer was option 1, which was 2. The trick is here is about rationalizing. So our next number, I think for today we shall stop here, and then we catch up tomorrow at the same time. We shall be live again, and we shall solve those. We shall be solving those questions slowly by slowly until the remaining 16th. These are the numbers you are going to find in your paper. And when you are going to do your paper, don't panic, just be prepared. do what you can. If you see that you can't figure out the trick behind the number, leave it, go to the next one, because you have very limited time to do all these numbers, and yet there are very many. Otherwise, we wish you the best luck in your incoming exams. Take care in this COVID-19. Wash your hands, protect yourself, avoid being in big numbers in a place. We wish you the best luck.
Hizi namba zina watu matusi.
Man, okimanyi bakuwulidde
Kuna pako.
ndinga n'ebigulu.
Wale wamekaa wale hivi.